We have to start supporting ourselves. We have to add value to our content and our voices. We have to start supporting ourselves.
Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really in my they done. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really in my they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really in my they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really in my they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. I'm really real one of them. I'm really him, I'm really out here standing on 10. Like and subscribe, thumbs up the video. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Haters gone, hate supporters done it. Support me at home, don't support one of them clones. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Please don't hate on it. Please support on it, on it. I'm really one of them ones. I'm really him, but they dumb. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. Cash app, $sign on box rhyme. I'm really real one of them ones that they dumb. Thumbs up, subscribe, cash app, $sign on box rhyme.
Title says Pan-Africanism is dead. I'm telling you right now, Pan-Africanism died in the late 60s. It's been dead, and it is just a cute phrase, an acute sentiment, in an ideology. It's not in practice and will never, ever, ever, ever be in practice ever again. It died. Why did it die, Chief X? Let me tell you why it died. Because when Pan-African, let me take a sip of my bourbon. Just to piss a few people off. What's up, squad? Why is it dead, Chief X? Let me give you some logic and some common sense science to why it's dead. Pan-Africanism jumped off in the 60s. Some may say earlier, but let's just, in general, let's just say the 60s. Uh-oh, hold on. I got a sweet potato pie in the oven. Let me turn. It dead, Chief X, because today is 2025. Listen to the logic. Listen to the common sense I'm about to lay down. Listen to the wisdom I'm about to imbue you with. Is that a word, imbue? I think it is. For instance, it's 2025. Politics is different. 50s, early 60s and shit like that, you didn't really have your civil rights. You have your civil rights now. You have every right, every civil right any other decent human American has. No difference. You are equal unless you feel that you're less than. So when Pan-Africanism was in its heyday, it was to unite blacks in Africa, and the diaspora, to fight against injustices and rights of us. Now you have rights. What would be the purpose? You have civil rights. Things have changed. A lot of y'all have married white women. All y'all go to integrated schools. Your neighbors are white, Mexican, whatever. My white neighbor or my Mexican neighbor is not doing any better than I am. They have no more pull than I do. They have no more favoritism than I do. We are all on equal footing, fighting for our families, raising our kids, and minding our own business. There's no one that has any favor in 2025. Pan-Africanism is dead because the ideology of Pan-Africanism, when it jumped off, is different in 2025. Right? For instance, let's be honest. Barbados don't give a fuck about Black Americans, and Black Americans don't give a fuck about Barbados. Black Americans are not trying and never have been trying to connect with Barbadian people and network and jump off some shit. When? They didn't do it then, and they damn sure ain't doing it right now. It died. Jamaicans don't give a fuck about Black Americans, and Black Americans don't give a fuck about Jamaicans. These niggas is not networking and trying to start businesses together and do any of this Pan-African jargon unity talk you guys spew at all. They don't give a fuck about each other. Let's tell the motherfucking truth. Cuba don't give a shit about Jamaica, and Jamaica don't give a shit about Cuba. When are these niggas networking and getting together, having some Pan-African conferences and some leadership? Who is the leader of the Pan-African movement? Name this person. I'll wait. Who is the committee people of the Pan-African music? Name one. I'll wait. Name a group of 5 people who are in charge of the Pan-African movement or the Pan-African committee. You can't name one. I'll wait. There is no structure. There is no leadership. There is no organization. All you have is a bunch of niggas in Black America parroting old shit, talking about let's unify, and ain't nobody made no steps to unify. Matter of fact, if we're being honest, 95% of Black Americans ain't even never been to Africa. What is that? What are you talking about? Don't even want to rep being a West Central African. What are you talking about? I went to Ghana 5 years ago for my 50th birthday. I sat up in a repatriation meeting. Me, a few other people on a tour, and some Africans. We talking about repatriation. A brother, a chief, a Ghanaian chief, a village chief, literally gave acres and acres of land to any Black American who want to repatriate and move there. I posted pictures on Facebook about it. I showed myself sitting in a repatriation meeting. When I came back, I was excited. I was talking to people. Nobody gave a fuck or even questioned me about the meeting or what was it about or anything. Niggas didn't give a fuck. Pan-Africanism been dead in the late 60s. I'm making my case. A lot of these niggas who talk this Pan-African shit ran their ass to motherfucking Egypt, North Africa. And North Africa ain't never, ever, 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 ever been Black Africa.
All right. So what he's hitting on family is 100% facts. So don't forget, 15 years ago, all these unks, look at his name, Unk. That's an Egyptian, symbol. All these guys, Dr. Mayat, that's Egypt. All these people who are now all of a sudden proud to be African, all wanted to be Egyptian 15 years ago. They took on Egyptian names. And then when that scam, you talk about grifters, family, this is a receipt. All of them, their names, they all got Egyptian names. Look at Unk name now. He changed his name to Bobby West. Look at or Bobby Banger. Look at Dr. Mayat. She changed her name to Dr. Oya or something. They all changed their names from Egyptian goofy names to Pan-African names. But all of them were into Egypt heavy, trying to sell you that. And again, when that didn't go nowhere, when that got debunked, now they hear proud Africans, right? All of a sudden, bro, none of these guys were. Look at their material. Look at their material. They were arguing Egypt stuff. So he's hitting on some key things. Like these are grifters. So they never should talk about grifters. They grifted from Hotep brother, Hotep sister. Now they Pan-African, jargon. 100% facts. All of them. They traded their Egyptian costumes for now Kwanzaa costumes. Hilarious.
A lot of these niggas who talk this Pan-African shit ran their ass to motherfucking Egypt, North Africa. And North Africa ain't never, ever, 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 ever been Black Africa. All these niggas went on tours and shit with Dr. Ben, Ashwa Kwesi, Jabari Osase in modern times. They gave all their fucking money, all their tourist money, all that money generated on plane flights and hotels and all that shit to motherfucking Arabs, Berbers, and North Africans and said, fuck West Central Africa. Pan-Africanism been dead. Let's stop playing. They didn't give none of those tourist dollars to Ghana and Nigeria. When I was in Ghana and I'm spending my money and buying clothing and supporting a lot of these people, all that money over all these decades went to motherfucking Arab Republic of Egypt.
Right. So now check this out. Now ask these guys how much of this sales go to Africa. What percentage of people from the motherland buy their material as opposed to people in America? You got to know these stats because you got to know your audience. You got to know how to target your audience. This is like sales 101. They couldn't even tell you. Well, they could tell you because when they mail it out, it's all American 50 state addresses. So all this Pan-African talk and none of Africa supports these guys' efforts. Their minimal efforts are not respected or supported by the continent of booty scratchers.
Tell me when I'm lying.
And this is for Dex. Dex, I try to give you some words of wisdom, bro. I'll be in people chats. I'll be in Sabir Bay, SETI, and things like that. And there be mods in there, okay? What's it, Professor Grift? I be in all these people chats cooking them softly, lightly, because they got a wrench. It's just goofy to debate people with a wrench. They can like just time you out, mute you, all type of stuff. I always tread on water if I go back and forth with a moderator. That's just words of wisdom.
When has Mali and Ethiopia got together and bonded and said, let's do some Pan-African shit and unite? Sub-Saharan Africa ain't uniting. Black America.
Hey Dex, you see me presenting something, dude. Call in later, man. Call in about 11 o'clock, something like that. I got a show, man. I got videos playing. Okay. Look at my tabs, my guy. You see the tabs? Well, you can't see them. Don't go that far, but I got a show to run, dude. I'm not here to take your questions, ruin my show. Call in after the show, man. Pay attention too. Learn something. These special kids with their ADHD, they don't sit down for nothing and listen.
Americans and the Caribbeans ain't uniting. What are you talking about? Pan-Africanism been dead. When are South Africans or the black sets in South Africans got together with Cuba? When has the Dominican Republic got together with black Americans and said, let's do some Pan-Africanism shit? Never. They don't give a fuck about each other. When has the Congo got together with anybody in the Caribbean and said, let's work together and unite and do some shit together? When was this? Please tell me. I must have missed this on my 55 years on Earth. There's no committee, no group, no organization. None of these countries in the Caribbean, none of these people in South America, Black America, nobody's united with Africa. Niggas don't even want to go to Africa. Stop talking that shit. Brother asked me, Chief Edge question, would you like that to be a thing? I used to think it can be a thing, but now I no longer think it can be a thing. Let me tell you why. Because I believe truly that everybody is an individual with different thought processes and different ideologies. I'm not a racist. I used to be on this racist bullshit a lot of these black power niggas be on. That RBG, black power, I used to parrot all that old dumb shit. Now I say the real thing is about black empowerment. If I say black empowerment, I'm not including any racist connotations. But when I say black power, I'm kind of being racist. Because we would get mad at somebody who said white power, you would consider them racist. So how are you open to say black power, but they not open to say white power? Either side would be racist. So I'm about black empowerment. I'm not racist. So although I would like it to be a thing that people unite and all of us can empower each other and trade and do business. I mean, when I went to Africa, I met people because I wanted to buy my moringa from Africa. I used to sell moringa. I still sell moringa. Initially, I was getting my moringa from Ethiopia and this brother in Senegal. It was a wife and husband in Senegal who would ship me a box of moringa. I had this huge ass box for dirt cheap. Basically, I'm just paying for shipping. I was doing international business with Western Central Africa, and niggas in the United States was talking that shit. I said, I'm doing this shit in real time. But listen to these other niggas who's trying to clown me. And you the fake niggas. I'm the real one. So I was doing international business, buying my moringa from there instead of from these white people online. If everybody did that, then we would have some bridges built with West African and doing trade and business. But nobody gives a fuck. Ask any of these wannabe Afrocentrics and Pan-African cats, are they doing any business in sub-Saharan Africa? Nope. I would like it to be a thing, but I understand it's 2025, and I'm not trying to link up and unify with a bunch of black racists. We different thinking.
All right. So on the right side, you see it's the website of, I believe it's Tariq Nasheed, right? Foundation of Black America. This is his personal website. It's not the website. It is a website. Okay. There's many websites, and there's many websites to come. However, let's take a look at it. So this is going to be a first round knockout for Tethers and Pan-Africans. Let's read slowly for the slow people, the short bus people, the Libyan guy and people like that. FBA history. Foundational Black Americans are the proud descendants of the Black men and women who endured and survived one of the greatest atrocities in human history, American slavery. That right there is enough to tell you who are FBAs. Okay? If you fall into this, you're FBA. So all these side arguments, they try to trap you in, prove you was always here, prove you came on a slave ship. Doesn't matter. Do you fit this right here? Okay? These resilient ancestors built the United States from ground up, laying the foundation for the nation's economic, political, and cultural development. However, the rich history of FBA did not begin in 1619 with the arrival of enslaved Black people in Virginia. It began nearly a century earlier. Okay, so that right there is pretty much what they skip past when they want to debate you about the website. They'll skip the first thing on the website, which is a hook, line, and sinker. Like it's over. They'll dodge that to come up with a side argument, something like revenue or one of these retards. Okay, here we go. Back to this guy. So now this guy, Unc, the former Egypt guy who grifted towards Pan-Africanism. Okay, so he's now going to try to share some information, right, about African American, and he's going to be corrected by his own member, his own cult member, Dr. Mayat, another reformed Egypt Hoteper, now Pan-Africanist.
Important examples: Freedmen's Bureau, Freedmen's Schools. Identity and meaning of African American: a broad cultural, ethnic, and racial identity for people of African descent in the U.S. Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified as an African American, no matter where you come from, right? Caribbean. And watch this: encompasses descendants of enslaved Africans and immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. It's a
AES. Are you talking about the yeah. Hold on. The AES is the most recent example of Pan-Africanism in real time. Sinewy Gladiator, click that link. Let's look at that together. Because people be having their own idea what Pan-Africanism is. They lie and say FBA changes definitions no matter depending on who they ask. That's a lie. It's Foundation Black Americans. It doesn't change. But the definition of Pan-Africanism definitely changes. And the goals and the actions changes. So you say that AES practice Pan-Africanism? Click that link. They don't practice Pan-Africanism in Africa at all. People make up their own definition, try to say, look, that's Pan-Africanism. It's not Pan-Africanism. It's not by the definition of Pan-Africanism, not the way it was practiced in the early 1900s, in the 1800s. That's not how Pan-Africanism was practiced. The AES. No, sir. You got to try again. That is not Pan-Africanism in real time. Okay? And matter of fact, Dr. Mayat is going to try to prove Africa practiced Pan-Africanism. Watch how fast I rip that apart. They don't practice Pan-Africanism over there. Okay? They are dividing each other, right? The Sahel Alliance, they divided from ECOWAS. ECOWAS was a whole bunch of African countries united. Then they split. They created the Sahel Alliance. You see? That's Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso. Yeah. So they practice fragmenting. They don't practice uniting over there.
Emphasizes cultural continuity. Go ahead. What were you saying, Doc?
I want to interject really quickly, Unc. And this is why when you and I were arguing on the telephone, so I want the family to know, and maybe the people who are just watching us don't know, that a lot of—
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's false, because she thought the same thing. Yeah, I know. I just named those countries. They don't practice Pan-African. But first of all, they left ECOWAS. Okay, that was a bunch of African countries, so they already fragmented, and they got nothing going on with the AES. They have no currency. They have they don't even have I think something with borders where they're allowed to come to each other's borders. That is not Pan-Africanism. That's a bunch of tribes and country form leaving another bunch of countries and tribe form to do their own thing. You dig? And they ain't doing their own thing. That ain't Pan-African. How's that different from ECOWAS? They just left that, created their own thing, and then they're gonna split sooner or later.
Of these conversations that we have publicly are birthed from arguments that Unc and I have behind closed doors. This is why when you and I talked, I said, Unc, you don't think we should throw the term African American away? No, we shouldn't throw it away. I said, Unc, it is not specific to our lineage here in America.
Here we go again. All right, here we go again. The chat, the link is there, chat. Okay, he said ECOWAS is French puppies, and guess what? AES is Russian puppies. Okay, they're both puppets from white supremacy. But you guys want to pretend that the Russians are better than the French. Like, no. All those countries in the Sahel are linked with Russia. So they left one white zaddy for another. Like I said, click that link. Let's talk about it.
Who's a descendant, who is of African descent, can claim to be an African American. This is why I said I do believe that we should have a name that is specifically for us, that other Black immigrants cannot come into the country.
All right, now you heard her, right? Now she's delineating. This is the Egyptianess. She's teaching Unc about delineation. She said, see, Unc, see, in your presentation, in your own words, you're giving us African American, and it's not specific to Black Americans. It's all inclusive to many other people that's melanated or African descent. So she's educating him in his own presentation. She stopped him to cook him. This is crazy. This is in-house fighting.
And hijack, and you were appalled. You were like, no, African American. They know who's who, and you went through all that. But in your slide, these two bullets talk about exactly what I was arguing on the telephone that day. But please continue.
In his two slides, she said it's supporting her argument against him on the phone, why it's important to delineate and choose a specific name that eliminates or excludes people who are not of the lineage from the USA, right? Chattel slavery, right? So she said in his own bullet points, it supports her argument, which is the same as ours. I mean, like, this can't be more embarrassing. He has a presentation that supports our argument, but he's acting like it supports his. So she had to cook him in front of everybody. She didn't pull him to the side. She didn't put him on mute and say, hey, play commercial. And no, she cooked him in front of everybody.
I know I'm sharp as a harp, though. Let me finish.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
It encompasses descendants of enslaved Africans and immigrants.
So family, this is fool's gold. This is arrogance. Just hold the L, buddy. Nope. But then he'll big up how smart Dr. Mayat is. Oh, she's the leader, all this stuff. She just cooked them in plain English, plain sense. And he's going to continue to read. This is what Dex would do. This is what Revenue would do. Like, they don't even know they're cooked. Oh, let me finish. I'm like, okay, go ahead, bro.
Immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. Okay. It emphasizes cultural continuity and community identity. Now, see, I think that's important to emphasize cultural continuity and community identity once you get to the United States. Example, African American history, culture, and community. Key differences. Let's deal with the differences here. Okay, freedmen, specific to descendants of formerly enslaved Africans in the U.S., historically linked to the legal status, post-emancipation, linked to post-Civil War Reconstructed context, African Americans. It's a broad identity for all people.
Hey, yo, I know he ain't doing it. Hey, family, what's going on here? Hey, family, what's going on here? He got the term freedmen. Freedmen are literally no longer living. Okay, there were our ancestors who were freed. They were considered freedmen. Those who were enslaved by the 5 tribes, the 5 indigenous Native American tribes, they were called freedmen as well, family. They were the original freedmen. We're not freedmen. That's why we're called the descendants of freedmen. This dude is positioning freedmen like it's us. Like that's those people are gone, bro. We are descendants of freedmen. See, this is what happens, family, when you try to like hijack and tether on to our talking points and you don't even understand them. Unc, write this down, bro. The freedmen are no longer here. We're descendants of freedmen. Freedmen were a particular people who were emancipated. They were called freedmen. We are the descendants of them. This is embarrassing.
People of African descent in the U.S., primarily a cultural ethnic identity, spans historical, contemporary experiences. Now, this chart shows the key differences, right? Freedmen, specific to
Freedmen family is not us. That's our ancestors. That's long gone. Okay, this guy said, yo, where did he get this information from? This is Freedmen specific descendants. No, bro. We are literally called descendants of freedmen or freedmen descendants. We're not called freedmen. We cannot take on that name. Okay. Wow, this guy. Misinformation.
Experiences, and these are the sources. That's a basic for what we're going to be talking about now. Doc, my point was that
did you change your position?
I didn't. I'm still in the same. No, of course not.
Look, she said, did you change your position? So she said, all of what you just read, it didn't support you. So did you change your position? Of course not. Because he doesn't comprehend what he just read. I know you're listening. But one of your cronies listening. Freedmen are specific people who passed. We're not freedmen. We are literally descendants of freedmen. There was a freedmen borough for freedmen, Unc. There was a freedmen bank for particular people called freedmen. The freedmen borough was for freedmen, and the freedmen bank was for freedmen. We are descendants of freedmen, my guy. We don't say we're freedmen. That's incorrect language. But the guy don't even know what delineation means, so whatever.
I'm still late.
I'm rolling with freedmen. I'm rolling with freedmen.
No, I'm not rolling with free. I'm rolling with freedmen.
See, even she doesn't know. Now, Dr. Maya, she's what's up with these grifters and these wishy-washy people? 1 minute they're ADOS, the next minute they are when Dr. Sandy Daddy was there, she was ADOS. When Tariq was talking, she's FBA. And now she's freedman. Okay, but you can't be freedman, Dr. Maya, you either. You are a descendant of freedmen if you're of the lineage. But neither one of you are freedmen.
You changed your position.
I didn't. I'm still the same. No, of course not. I'm still late.
I'm rolling with freedmen. I'm rolling with freedmen.
No, I'm not rolling with free. I'm rolling with freedmen in specific cases, right? If need be.
That's what I said. I said that on the phone. Go ahead.
My point.
This guy said in specific cases he's freedman. Even if you're trying to use it in context of that's who he is, part of the lineage, then how could you be freedman in particular? Oh my God, the ignorance is on fleek.
Is those who have enslaved us know who the hell they're gonna give their money to when it's time. See, when you start to write that check, if they write that check, they're not gonna allow.
All right, you say this. They are not gonna allow. Now this. If y'all don't believe this guy's an agent, like you just don't believe any truth. This guy is leaving it to America to discern who is of the lineage and isn't, who gets a check and don't. he doesn't trust us to gatekeep it ourselves. He wants the defendant. Don't forget, we're suing the American government. All these citizens gonna have to pay something. You dig? So we're gonna leave it to them to discern who gets paid and who don't. The defendant. Well, in that case, they're gonna be like, well, shit. They're gonna pick out 4 people. Hey, you 4. That's it. Nobody else. Case closed. If you don't believe he's an agent by now, there's no evidence that I convince you otherwise. One more time. He wants the defendant to discern who gets paid and who's of the lineage, not us.
Of those who have enslaved us.
And by the way, I looked up Johnny Cochran briefly, and Johnny Cochran was also pushing for reparations for people that was DOS, descendants of slavery, of American slavery. Johnny Cochran. So even he knows lineage based. But Johnny Cochran ain't leave it to the American government. Oh yeah, let's listen to Agent Unc and let's let the American government discern for us. We're too stupid and incompetent to do it ourselves. What's wrong with this dude, man?
Go ahead.
My point is, those who have enslaved us know who the hell they're gonna give their money to when it's time. See, when you start to write that check, if they write that check, they're not gonna allow, no matter what you name yourself, they're gonna allow the people that came into the country in the 1900s, after slavery and all that, and get that check. They're not gonna do that, not even a little bit. So my point was that the African Americans actually encompasses all that. Now, if you want to get specific with it, right? You want to.
Now he just lied. He said African Americans encompass all that. Nothing. No, it don't. Revenues are African American, bro. Like this guy, and like we tell him, and again, he just. You're forced to call him dumb, and you don't want to do that, right? Because it's like just not nice. People say, "Everybody's right. You two, this, you take." I mean, but then what else can I say? The dude just purposely don't want to get it, and that comes off as agent talk. When you purposely don't want to get it, I talked to him. Dr. Mayat talked to him. Sheffrin talked to him, and other folks talked to him in his own, his own inner circles, and he just don't want to get it. That's why I asked Sheffrin last night. It's like, well, damn, bro. It's 2 conclusions. He's your man's just dumb as hell, or he's an agent.
Say, well, Freedman, that's fine. So then we got to have a conversation around that, and you got to educate people, because the question will be this: why now? Why all of a sudden is the Freedman conversation? Is there? Is it hiding? No, it's in plain sight, right? So those who understand who they must pay, they understand all of that. They get.
Wait, what are you talking about? Yeah, this guy's crazy. Yo, we all got to confirm. Yo, if he had like we just checks gonna just be mailed to us like some old stimulus check. Like, dude, we got to verify our lineage, right? This guy, he just like, again, he doesn't go to no reparation board. He don't understand any arguments from Dr. Sandy Darity, Adolph's FBA. He just running his mouth, just what he normally does.
The gist of it. They know what it is before they cash out their money, just like insurance companies, right? If you try to con an insurance company, they're gonna come in with your claim. They're gonna.
I'm past all that. All right, let's go. I think it's around. All right, so as you can see, they were trying to hijack. My only point. Well, I had a couple points. One, he debunked himself with the African American presentation. But number 2, I wanted to point out that they were calling themselves freedmen. They were choosing at this time. They were choosing freedmen over ADOS and FBA. Why? Because these 2 brothers right here, Naeem and his man's right here, and his sister right here, they call themselves descendants of American freedmen. So like I said, like they just, these 2 right here, these 3. So, and she didn't get no pushback, no backlash. Now she 100% disagree with this stuff, and all she did was ride them. That's all she does with her guests. She don't give no real pushback. She let people just run, just go in, and she agrees. She's not a journalist at all. All right, what about this one?
What's your take on it? That was powerful, Baba. What's your take on it, brother?
I mean, it's been a riff. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Go ahead.
It's been a riff between African Americans and Africans in the diaspora, and continental Africans. And I'm just it's a riff. And sometimes, you know, they want to treat us like second-class citizens, right? And the fact that some of us don't understand our culture, we allow that to seep in. And people get offended when you classify, watch this, continental Africans as Africans. Some of them have their own tribal clan names.
That's true.
And African Americans, I mean, we've been through a lot. We say you black, we say you this. They be like, nah, right? We don't allow them.
Okay, you heard him. You heard him. He said that we say you black to the continental Africans, and they be like, nah. So that's why we're all like, really? So why are you now black in the 2020s and until now? That's our question that we asked the Tethers and Pan-Africans. We agree on. We once misnamed them black. And they said, nah, nope. I'm from this tribe. I'm from this country. But now in 2020, up until now, they're trying to hijack black. That's why I said, no. We're the only black people. We're repoing black. You're going to just be where you from, your tribe, your language, something like that. But you're not black. Like Unc said, they was like, nah.
Black, we say you this. They be like, nah. I mean, we've been through a lot. We say you black, we say you this. They be like, nah. Right? We don't allow them to be who they are. And then they think they better than us. But see, I'm not African because I was born.
You heard that? We don't allow them to be who they are, which I say they're African or they're from a country in Africa or a tribe. That's who they are. We want to call them black. And he's saying we should allow them to be who they are, which I'm saying. But now he's going against that. Now he's calling them black. It's some agent talk.
In Africa, right? I'm African because Africa was born in me. You know what I'm saying? Like my very genes go back to Africa. Fundamentally speaking, all humans are African.
African,
you know
yeah.
right?
Facts.
So
What is the argument then? Everybody's African. Why are you? What's the big deal, bro? This is goofy talk.
the fact that they would put their thing up here and our thing down here is where the riff is a lot of times, Doc.
You see that? You heard he said? He said Africans hold themselves higher and put us down lower. He said that's what the rift is. But now he's saying it's us. He's saying it's us now. Family, to do a 180 like that, people like to say it's agent talk.
are African.
African,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Right?
Facts.
So the fact that they would put their thing up here and our thing down here is where the riff is a lot of times, Doc. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? When we are on par with everybody, matter of fact, we have become the standard. That's why it's horrible when we act a fool at times because everybody's watching. Everybody want to be like us. This new population of Africans, you know what I'm saying, that came up out the ashes. That's in our story, the Phoenix story. When you rise about the ashes, we the new thing on the block, man. We went through colonialism, been through Jim Crow, civil rights movement, and we stand tall with African American culture. That
Okay, so he almost sound like us, but you see, like he's intentionally only referring to us as African Americans. That's agent talk. Like, but aren't we black? Aren't we black Americans? But family, I challenge you guys to let them hear it. They will never call us black, but they will agree. They will agree we're black Americans, but they'll never call us it. They'll only call us African Americans. Him, the Libyan Reggie guy, Dr. Mayat, all of them will purposely, intentionally call us African Americans, not black. So like they're trying to take black from us and give it to the African booty scratchers.
it incorporates old indigenous ways. Your grandmother and them still do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With brand new African American style in the music. Yo, we spawn music, instruments, right? We're a surge group of dudes and we don't even recognize this. That's another problem. Once you recognize who you is, you ain't even got a riff with continental Africans. You don't have a problem with saying, yeah, you might not see yourself as being African. That's a continent. Well, what is your tribal name? Can you explain it to me?
Right.
Can you educate me on that? And
Right.
you can education will break down the rift, but it's a damn rift. They swear they better than us. We know we better than them. You ain't got no shoes. You ain't got that. It's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like the cultural differences.
Okay, and I hear the culture stuff. All right. Anyway, I'm just giving you some background how they were talking not too long ago. Okay, to where they are now. Now, so they're admitting with the standard, they're admitting all these things that they look at us funny. Look how they talking now. So that's some background, family. They're freedmen. They're not whatever they say they are today. We got them, coach. All right, now here it is.
In the community.
In this video, she's gonna try to do this. Listen.
I had to call them, family. I had to call them because there's a lot of foolery happening over here in the States. It's this notion that Pan-Africanism is dead. It's like a movement, right? People are really pushing this idea that Pan-Africanism is dead, you know, and it's all through the internet. Oh, now you got the young folks saying Pan-Africanism is dead, it's outdated. No one practices it anymore. It's ineffective. So I had to bring on a brother, a giant, a scholar, a professor in a Benfo to come and talk about this. He's actually on the continent, family. And before you get into, is he a tether? No, he was actually born and raised here. And he repatriated back to Ghana and grabbed his family and took them, you know, to Ghana. He went back home. He went back to the motherland. He went back home. And he's there and he's doing well. And so, I mean, a lot of you are saying Pan-Africanism is dead. You've never even went to the damn continent. But
don't need to. We know it's dead.
Anyway, family, I'm going to bring him on to help me unpack this topic. All right. So without further ado, Abemfo Obadeli Kambon, how are you doing, warrior?
Now, his name was just King Tut like 10 years ago, part of this whole Egypt Hotep thing. Now he's Dr. Okin Obenfo, whatever. This guy is grifted from ancient Egypt to now they're proud to be African now.
I'm Black Powerful. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I can't complain. Just trying to make sense of the foolishness. And I was told by some elders long time ago that you can't make sense out of nonsense, right? You try to kill yourself trying to make sense out of nonsense. But I wanted to bring you on, like I said before, you know, during my introduction. It's a claim that's out there. It's being pushed all over the internet right now that that Pan-Africanism is outdated, is ineffective. It never benefited Black Americans. It's one-sided, and most of all, look, it doesn't even happen on the continent. So they're like, look, you encouraging us over here to practice Pan-Africanism, but it's not happening on the continent. So I ask you, Abemfo, is Pan-Africanism being practiced right over there in Ghana where you are, and on the continent for that matter?
So there's actually quite a lot that I want to share with you in this regard. And I don't know if maybe I can share my screen, if that would be okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'll just go through, I'll touch on, you know, several things. So for me, as you know, I'm not on Cesspool Media. So I get, you know, updates from the Skinner box to find out what the rats are doing and what new pellets that the crackers have dropped in there. But this is one thing. So UNIA letter of appointment. So what this is that I've been appointed ambassador to Ghana by the UNIA, and also that Abibi Tumi headquarters, which is where I'm located right now, serves as the embassy for all, you know, those who are coming to the continent in order to, you know, repatriate. So this is something that someone may regard as, you know, Pan-Africanism, depending on how they define it. But yeah, so I'll read it out. Congratulations, Dr. Obadele Kambon, ambassador to Ghana.
Depending on how they define it, right? So, family, things be intangible, nothing burgers. People, the masses don't benefit from it at all. It's an individual doing an individual act, and they say, "Hey, this is Pan-Africanism." Like I said, Dr. Mayat is selling kids DVDs. Dr. Mayat, are Africans buying your kid DVDs and watching them over there in Africa? Like, come on, stop. selling shoes. Any Africans buying your shoes? The masses. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all should be sold out. So like they actually Reggie got the African city plan. Anybody buying that up in Africa, Reggie? So like these guys got this weird fantasy and sick love for a continent, and nobody in that continent support their services or buy their products. When they be live, 2 people there. Foundational, ain't nobody African. Like they don't even support their channels, man. But they got this sick, undying love for people who don't even see them. So anyway, measurable things that are examples of Pan-Africanism when you go over there would be treaties, joint ventures, cross-border public goods, diaspora equity stakes, bi-directional policy wins, not anecdotes. They want to give us anecdotes. Hey, I'm doing this. I sold 20 incense to 20 Africans. You know, you see those Africans doing the crit walk? I'm the one that sold them those Pittsburgh Steelers jerseys. Okay, that's not Pan-Africanism, man.
The Office of Secretary General of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, which my great-grandfather was actually a part of. And he, was in the Brooklyn division. This is Nana Ferrara, Levi Lord. If people are interested, they can look him up. He was in the Brooklyn division. He eventually was awarded the Knights Commander of the Cross of African Redemption by Nana Marcus Garvey. He was there at the 1920 unveiling of the red, black, and green flag and so forth. But I'll continue. The Office of the Secretary General of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Communities League, UNIA-ACL, hereby announces that President General Michael R. Duncan has appointed Dr. Obadele Kamban as UNIA Ambassador to Ghana on this 15th day of May, 2025.
So what? So what? 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 How about this? How many documented repatriations been processed because that happened? What residency, citizenship, pipelines closed end to end? They're just talking. Oh, his guy was appointed as this. So nothing burgers, intangible, nothing. It's not I was trying to tell you guys are throwing that word Pan-Africanism around. Oh, the AES, that ain't Pan-Africanism. That's more the division. The AES was created once they left ECOWAS. ECOWAS is a bunch of goddamn Africans that got a zaddy, right? From the West. They left that, created the AES, and now they got a zaddy from the East. What's the difference? They got a white zaddy both ways, ECOWAS and AES. That's not a W. There's no way a true FBA would make that claim. It's not a W. What's the common denominator? You got a zaddy taking care of you, watching over you, saying yes or no.
This appointment has been approved by the High Executive Council of the Universal Negro Improvement Association African Communities League. Dr. Obadele Kamban will be headquartered at the UNIA Embassy at Abibitumi. And for anyone, I can show you what Abibitumi looks like, but you can also find that online if you just do a search on the map, Google Maps or any other map that you look at. You can just do a search for Abibitumi. You can see what that looks like. This is something else from the Republic of Ghana. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, invitation to participate in the Diaspora Summit. I won't read this out word for word because I don't want people to get bored, but this is, being convened by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, under whom I received my citizenship.
More reading. All they do is hold up books and pamphlets. Now we got to read this shit. What is this, man? Show us some stats. Show us some numbers. This is not just because somebody said, hey, I'll give you permission to do so-and-so. That's not Pan-Africanism, man. That's not like, what's so special about that? Family, when they say Pan-Africanism to us, we expect some tangible, some real things going down. Like, what the hell is this? This pamphlet. First class citizen, some lineage love, super chat in the building. Scam Africanism is like the abusive husband in a bad marriage, but the wife still refuses to leave the marriage 100%. It's like Stockholm Syndrome.
Citizenship back in 2016, and that initiative actually started off in my office at the Institute of African Studies, where we had monthly meetings that we were calling the Ministry of the Future.
Another conference, family. It's all they do. is meet up and do conference all the way back to in London, 1900s, literally 1900. They had conferences, Pan-African conferences way back over there with folks from the Caribbean meeting up in London and just talking. And nobody walking, nothing practical, just talking. And they've been doing conferences and meeting up ever since then. And he's in Ghana meeting more people. Nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting built. Where is the Pan-African place, like resort or whatever in Ghana? Hey, this place right here is reserved for Pan-Africanists only. This is our appreciation to those that come from across the world, even the continent, to show support of, this unity babble. Nothing. This is he just talking and reading. Nothing, dude. Show us video.
Together with Dr. Hamid Maulana, who people may not know. This isn't Maulana Karenga, by the way. Okay. But anyway, we had these monthly meetings, and he invited his friend, Honorable Nikwesi Kwate, who was the executive secretary to the president.
Oh my God, he's fancy. He all these fancy titles. He invited the chief of this local tribe, Zimbabwe, and Bubutande is the executive king of the other tribe, Yoruba, and then we got the executive chef. Yo, what are we doing, man? Fancy names, fancy titles, nothing getting done. Absolutely nothing is getting done.
John Dramani Mahama.
Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary be like, what is your sales? What is Mr. Wonderful? What are your sales? Show us the numbers. Show us the money transaction. That's what we care about over here. How much money is being made as a result of these Pan-African efforts? Nothing. You're just holding up books.
And he was the president, John Dramani Mahama, was voted out of office, and that was December 7th, 2016. But what he decided to do is that on the strength of what the executive secretary told him, he said that his last public act was to, and I'll paraphrase the videos actually online, but he says what he's doing, he deserves no thanks or praise because he's restoring what belongs to us, and that is to say our birthright as citizens here on the continent. So I've been invited to be.
And you better have some money. You are not going to Africa broke. You're not going to Ghana broke. They want to see what's in your bank account. It's almost like day trading. Anybody day trade before? The PDT rule in America is that you got to have $25,000 in your bank account before you can day trade in America. Okay, so America want to know what's in your bank account, what's in your wallet. You take your ass to Ghana, they want to know, before you come over here, what's in your bank account. So Umar got citizenship because he was able to see those funds that people donated. He's like, yo, he didn't say these are the funds. He said, this is mine. This is my shit.
A part of the panel. It says, in view of the above, so forth and so on, I have the honor to invite you to participate in the summit. And for the summit, anyone who's coming for the summit can come without any visas. Recently, Honorable John Dramani Mahama, he sent military engineers to Jamaica to assist in the cleanup after the hurricane there. But that's
that's Pan-Africanism. Come on, man. All right. More conference invitations. Okay, but that just shows access. You got access, right? But it doesn't show implementation. It doesn't show press for outputs, policy passed, budgets allocated, programs launched, number of diaspora businesses onboarded with permits, land titles issued, tax incentives used. You see, that's what people want to know, man. All this, hey, man, they got this award, Babatunde, the executive chef of a Guinea, he got an award. Like, bro, we don't care about that, man. Like, you're not showing nothing. Nothing he said was tangible. Nothing.
But to serve as a panelist
but that's Pan-Africanism. Go ahead.
And that's all it is. That's a nothing burger. Then we're right. Then Pan-Africanism is dead. You don't do nothing. If this is the best you got, it's garbage. As we said it was. So you just confirmed what we said. It's garbage. It's dead. It's a nothing burger. That's the best I got. Look, he said, yeah, I'm gonna rest my hat on that. Going to a conference meeting with a bunch of people with Kwanzaa outfits on and dashikis. Another meeting, okay, and that's Pan-Africanism. Okay, and they both got their hands up. Like, that's enough. What else you have? What else you FBAs want? Now, family, this is 200 years in practice, and this is the best they can offer us to tell us. See, told you, this is something real.
I kind of dropped that in there for anybody who wanted a view outside of what's happening in their Skinner box. And when I talk about the Skinner box, that's what I call algorithm and blues, and that is where crackers are they just act like crackers, and what they do is the same thing that they do with Bloods and Crips, the same thing they do with Hutus versus Tutsis, the same thing.
Oh my God, did he say crackers? Okay, so you're supposed to be talking about Pan-Africanism and how great you guys are doing over there in Ghana. Now he brings up the white man. Okay, now look, we're the generic African, and now there's a generic white man, right? Now this family don't fall for the cracker, right? No. We got our white man, you got yours. We are handling ours, you handle yours. That ain't they trying to say it like it's the same white man that's everywhere. No. Yeah, Ghana is 100% Ghanaian. Why are they white? Y'all can dictate whether you have white immigrants over there or not. You dig? So y'all need to handle that. That should be an easy solution. Just tell them get out.
They did back in the day with Asante versus Eve. The same thing they did with Dahomey versus Oyo.
Oh my God, this guy. So now look, family. He said Dahomey. So he's gonna sit here and lie and say it was white folks who got these African booty scratchers to fight amongst themselves to sell us overseas. So now he's gonna so now, bro, you can't do that. Ghana apologize. If it was all the white man fault, then Ghana would not apologize. And when they apologized, they didn't say, "Yo, we forgive us for our efforts in the slave trade. The white man tricked us." They didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said, "Forgive us. We were wrong. We traded you. We sold you guys to white people for K2, fentanyl, alcohol, and some damn grapes."
They laugh all the way to the bank as Black people are fighting each other, and the more conflict that exists in
so he's saying a lot, and he's saying a bunch of everything. And if you actually know certain things he's saying, that's why I point out the homie that's talking about slavery, that's talking about slave trades. No, sir, you ain't gonna pull that on us tonight. That's not gonna happen, my guy.
Cesspool media containers. The more view.
No. You have your own country. If you allow media to say crazy stuff, because you allowed it, you are in 100% control of your land. If you're not, then why the hell we go over there? You see? So
views they get, the more advertising revenue they get. So they love it when Black people are beating each other up.
Listen. So now he's trying to include. He's trying to extend Black to the Africa. No, family, that's not gonna work. Obubutante, whatever your name is, Obinfo, that's not gonna work, my guy. It's not gonna work. You guys are African, and you're speaking about Ghana, so you're speaking about Ghanaians. So he's trying to say Black to like symbolically or emotionally tie us into the tribalism that happens over in Africa. No, if you say Ghanaians, like I said, family, they know not to say Black African American city plan. We're not interested. They know not to say African this. We're not interested. They're going to say Black, but they won't call us Black though. But all their clothing, all their services, all that will say Black on it. They're not going to put African there because that don't resonate with us. We're not going to support it. So they got to put Black. And to make us care about their tribal fights, they got to call everybody Black. Because if you say, yeah, man, the Sahel, man, they out there fighting. Burkina Faso is going against. We like, so he got to say Black to get our attention. Doesn't work, bro. We repoed Black. They're not Black. There's a bunch of Africans fighting. What else is new?
Inside these Skinner boxes, but I'll continue. On the topic of the diaspora as the 17th region, the role of the diaspora in national development agenda on Saturday, the 20th of December. So some may consider, this.
Thank you, Charlie Shaw. Yeah, the dude is definitely Not even Foundation Black American. Oh my God, I'm good.
Diaspora Summit as something along the lines of Pan-Africanism, but I don't know if they're allowed to, use their brains when they are locked in the Skinner box as, those who.
Wait, so how are you practicing Pan-Africanism, but at the same time blaming white people why you can't practice it? Like, yeah, what's going on?
Are being trained through operant conditioning. So that's another one. Another thing that I wanted to point out is actually here. I'll come back to mine. So this is Decade of Our Repatriation. Now, what is this? This is
there we go, family. One more time. All right. So now I'm about
this
to
is
cook on
Decade of
this.
Our Repatriation.
I looked this stuff up. The Decade of Our Repatriation. The acronym is DOR. DOR.
Now, what is this? This is an initiative that was introduced by Repatriate to Ghana.
I told you it'd be a bunch of guys with Kwanzaa outfits on dashikis. I told you.
And what this is again an initiative that's been endorsed by the Office of the President. That is the President of Ghana. As a matter of fact, since I'm sharing my screen, I might as well show you this one as well. So Decade of Our Repatriation, and you can still see my screen, right? I switched.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to come here to the endorsement letters. There we go. So this was coming from the Office of the President, right? Endorsement letter, repatriatetoghana.com. The Diaspora Affairs Office of the President is pleased to officially endorse the Decade of Our Repatriation. Originally, we were calling it Decade of Repatriation, but we've switched to the Decade of Our Repatriation, so it could have the acronym.
Family, a nothing burger intangible. Stop it. Endorsement does not equate to program delivery. Okay, one more time. Endorsement is a nothing burger. It doesn't equate to program delivery. How about permanent residencies? How about citizenships that actually granted through DR? Median processing time, dollars invested by diaspora measured by audited inflows, right? We want to see the numbers. You know, Tone Talk says he a number guys. We got to see the numbers. You're just talking. How about jobs created, 2-year survival rate of diaspora firms? What about job creations? Yeah, family, this is just nothing. He's literally just showing you a letter of yeah, man, the president is on our side. He support our efforts, but he ain't gonna give no money and nothing, no job, nothing will be created on behalf of DOR. He gonna say, yeah, this is a letter where you guys can do what you want to do, but DOR ain't gonna finance or support none of that shit.
DOOR, door. And then a lot of this symbolism is going to revolve around this idea of the door that opens for us to come back home from the place that we were kidnapped.
Wait a minute. Oh, no. Hey, family, I know he just said we were kidnapped. Oh, my God.
From idea of the door that opens for us to come back home from the place that we were kidnapped from, because each and every single Black person, not a single one left voluntarily. Each and every person was kidnapped against their will. So again,
by who? Yeah, this the Unk argument. By who? The slave raids were by African. Again, Ghana. Oh my God. What are you doing here, man? Ghana has officially expressed deep regret and apologized for its historical role in the transatlantic slave trade. What the hell is he talking about? Kidnapped? Yeah.
Idea of the door that opens for us to come back home from the place that we were kidnapped from, because each and every single Black person, not a single one left voluntarily. Each and every person was kidnapped against their will. So again,
see, family, like that's that slick. That's what we call it, scamism. He left that there so our brains can automatically insinuate that it was white folks who kidnapped us. Look, with leaders and traditional rulers acknowledging the collaboration of some African kingdoms, notably through initiatives like the Year of Return and specific ritual apologies, while also leading global calls for formal reparations from European nations for the vast injustice committed. These apologies acknowledge the collaboration of African rulers in capturing, kidnapping. This is too easy for me. African rulers in kidnapping and selling their own people. Who are you talking about doing the kidnapping, family? He left it there wide open so your brains, because he said crackers earlier, and now he's saying we were kidnapped. Brother, Africa, not brother, other, Ghana apologized for African rulers kidnapping and selling their own people. A history Ghana seeks to confront and reconcile with for the diaspora. African rulers were doing the kidnapping. What are you talking about, man? This is me, bro.
The door that opens for us. This symbolism is going to revolve around this idea of the door that opens for us to come back home from the place that we were kidnapped from, because each and every single Black person, not a single one left voluntarily. Each and every person was kidnapped against their will. So again, Ghana's great brain gain.
You see, so he left it there, family, to imply that white folks kidnapped us against our will, and now they open the door back for us to come through. No, that door was Ghanaians kidnapping us, capturing us. What language? Capturing, kidnapping us, and selling us to white people. So, no, what are we talking about?
Landmark initiative spearheaded by Repatriate to Ghana seeks to build upon the momentum of the record levels of diaspora engagement to Ghana. DAOOP, again, that's Diaspora Affairs Office of the President, recognizes the impressive groundwork laid by R2GH in addressing critical gaps in the repatriation journey, from housing and legal services to enculturation, language. I've been teaching language online, Chi specifically, since 2005. And, that's what I did during my PhD so forth. Business orientation, virtual support systems with thousands of diaspora, both historic and continental, having already made Ghana their permanent home and an estimated 1.9 billion in economic contributions since 2019. It is clear that well-supported repatriation represents not only
family, this is a big scam that he's running on her channel. This is a big scam.
A cultural and spiritual homecoming, but also a transformational opportunity for social economic growth. And I actually just had some Repatriate to Ghana clients come to visit me this morning, and I have one of our real estate agents who's taking them to where they'll be staying. They're looking for a furnished place up here in the mountains. So some people may consider that also to be some type of Pan-Africanism.
Nothing burger. See, as always, somebody got to interpret that. What are you doing? What is Ghana doing that actually is Pan-Africanism by the very definition, my guy, not somebody's interpretation or romanticism?
But I'm going to come back to this point because we have a little bit of time, is that the people who are even saying Pan-Africanism, I don't even know if they know what Pan-Africanism is.
No. You don't know what Pan-Africanism even is. You don't. You just kept saying, we do this nothing burger. We do that nothing burger. We do these nothing burgers and that might be considered Pan-Africanism. See, you don't have a definition. You don't know what it is. We know what it is because we know the origins of it.
Have they read the 1900 resolution?
Yes, we did in London. Right. We read that. It was a nothing burger. You guys came together like you're doing now and just talked. Nothing was built, nothing was created. You went your own ways and to your failed homelands, and nothing came about it. We do know about that. Okay, family, they swear they're the only ones that read.
Declaration about the ideas that, formed that concept of Pan-Africanism. Nachimwezu, who actually is out of the neo-colonial cage called Nigeria.
Benfo, do you still want me to show your screen, or you want me to take this off?
Yes, I'm gonna come back to this. I'm just kind of doing the side part.
Okay.
But he's Igbo, and he taught a course called The History of Pan-Africanism through Abibi Toumi. That was somewhere around.
Oh my God, you're gonna make up. Nah, we good. You're gonna make up the definition of Africanism, something light and easy, where everything you guys do is considered Pan-Africanism. Nah, we're good.
17.
You're gonna lower it. What he's trying to do is they're trying to redefine it and lower the bar. So simply just buying, how they be selling those chocolates, they had those chocolates for $1 to donate to kids. If we just buy that's Pan-Africanism, right? They're trying to lower the bar.
People throughout the world connected and so forth and so on. But so we commend the historic efforts already achieved by R2GH, including its collaboration with influential diaspora leaders and institutions such as the Universal Negro Improvement Association.
Oh
and
my
BBT.
God, this dude named Marcus Garvey. I told you, family. And what was his definition of Pan-Africanism? To repatriate physically in Liberia. Okay, so stop, bruh. Stop. Now all of a sudden, the definition is, oh, we didn't gotta go live there anymore. We can practice Pan-Africanism over here in America. Okay.
To me, and note the significance of MOU signs to streamline pathways for global repatriation. This endorsement underscores DAOOP's confidence in R2GH's leadership, vision, and operational integrity. We are proud to associate with the impactful initiative program.
Oh my God, you got to read. Like, he's reading all this, family. If this was so from the heart, he could just talk like I could, and like we all can about FBA and our initiative, what we're doing. He's reading everything.
Powerfully return and co-creation and affirming diaspora engagement as a pillar of Ghana's forward-looking development agenda. We encourage public, private, and development stakeholders to lend their support to the decade of repatriation and the broader R2GH ecosystem as we work collectively to make Ghana the global beacon of diaspora reconnection and reintegration. We anticipate
I'm trying to see where he's at.
Successful series of initiatives, and we just had the Abibi Fahudi.
Oh my God, the BB stuff.
His leadership, vision, and operational
like Roland Martin. The we got the BB.
OPs, compilation, and Abibi Tumi, and note the significance of MOU signs to streamline pathways for global repatriation. This endorsement underscores DAOOP's confidence in R2GH's leadership, vision, and operational integrity. We are proud to associate with the impact of his leadership. Again, we commend. Apparently he didn't get the memo that Pan-Africanism was dead on the continent because he was born and raised on the continent. And is how it's different from all Africanism and so forth and so on. But again, that's just a sidebar. So again, we commend this, right? Collaboration with influential diaspora leaders and institutions such as the Universal Negro Improvement Association and Tumi, and note the significance of MOU signs to streamline pathways for global repatriation. This endorsement underscores DAOOP's confidence in R2GH's leadership, vision, and operational integrity. We are proud to associate with the impactful initiative program that powerfully
he's down there. I see where he's at. Okay, let me back up a little bit. He said something that I want to speak to.
Spiritual homecoming, but also a transformational opportunity. Business orientation virtual support systems with thousands of diaspora, both historic and continental, having already made Ghana their permanent home. And
let me see if I can find it. I seen it in there. I see it right there.
Estimated 1.9 billion in economic.
Okay, there you go. They the 1.98 billion right there, and then that was slick. He read right past that.
Orientation virtual support systems with thousands of diaspora, both historic and continental, having already made Ghana their permanent home, and an estimated 1.9 billion in economic contributions.
1.98 billion in economic what?
Since 2019, made Ghana their permanent home, and an estimated 1.9 billion in economic contributions since 2019.
Economic contribution. Now, family, he got to explain where that 1.98 came from. That matters. Did that come from tourism? Did that come from remittances, right? Okay, were you Ghanaians living in America, UK, and Canada sending money back, and it accumulated to 1.98? He's acting like the money is being produced right from Ghana through hard work and dedication. No, bro, like you gotta tell us where this money coming from. Okay. Read that report. How you came to that 1.98.
But I'm going to come back to this point because we have is out of the neo-colonial cage called Nigeria, called What's Scrap. I don't use those, so I'll have to just send them, a regular email, or I'll message those who are, on a BB to me. So again, this is from Diaspora Affairs Office of the President, and this is coming from KOD, Kofi Oshire-Dakun, who is the Director of Diaspora Affairs Office of the President. We also have this one. And apparently all these people, they need to go on cesspool media so they can get the memos that shape y'all's consciousness.
It's memos. Show us the work, man. Show us the auditing. Show us where the money's coming from, bro.
I digress. And when I mentioned, shape y'all's consciousness, what they do is they make sure that those on the continent see certain things that tell them that those in the diaspora, don't like them. And then make sure that those in the so-called diaspora see things that show,
son, this tether just lied. Those in the diaspora don't like them. Why? We don't think about y'all booty scratchers at all, man. Like, come on, bro. Let's keep it a buck. We don't think about y'all at all, man. We're a first world superpower, the richest country in the world. Why are we looking down, man? Like, stop, bro. We don't see y'all until y'all come to our country.
They are clear on making ways that, you're interested in the continent. Well, I'll show you something that's going to be controversial, that's going to get more views and so forth. Because, the way you can see the difference is on platforms like a BB Toomey, all that divisive, black on black stuff, it doesn't fly. And it lets you know it's intentional that when you hop into the Skinner box, that there are certain things that you're going to see and certain things that are going to be suppressed, right? But I digress. Let's continue. Endorsement of R2GH and the Decade of Our Repatriation Door Initiative. And apparently they also missed the memo. So again, we're going to have to send them to TikTok or Facebook or Insta Spam, or is analogous to atum. And atum comes from the root word tum, which translates to cease, to end.
Oh my God. Another linguist, another Pan-Africanist linguist. It's the last thing we need. Is another Pan-Africanist linguist. There's a million of these guys. Brother Reggie trying to read the Egyptian hieroglyphs. Oh God. Another linguist. Oh God.
And to bring to finality like those ideas. They're starting off the quote unquote creation story with one whose name, it lets you know this is the end. So they're telling you in a very direct way, I take it that the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end. So they talk about from Atum came Shu, Tef, Nut, Geb, Nut, Asar, Aset, Seteth, and Nebet, Hu. So again, they're saying that they think Pan-Africanism is here, but again, that's not the end. That means it comes down here. And they're actually making a point that I actually make it subsides, but then it rises again. And again, anytime we come to realize, we got common enemies, that's when it rises again. In Haiti and Jamaica,
the common enemy is you and people like you lying and scamming. Okay, you are part of the common enemy of theory. You're there, my guy.
In the U.S., you have the Black Power movement. Again, I don't know if Nana Kwame Ture or Nana Mukasa Dada, who
oh my God, all these goddamn tethers you keep naming, dude. Come on, man.
Awarded the first BB Toomey Award for Black Power. I don't know if they've read any of these texts that talk about come together on the basis of being black.
But you're not black. Okay, now, family, what's going on here? Am I missing something? They keep saying, family, we're saying we're black. Now, he just said coming together on the basis that you're black. We're saying we're black, but you're saying we're African. So which is it? Are we coming together on a basis of blackness or Africanism? Because we're already saying we're black. We're the only people saying we're black. But then you'll say we're African. Which one are we coming together under blackness or Africanism? Y'all keep confusing us. One more time.
The first BB Toomey Award for Black Power. I don't know if they've read any of these texts that talk about come together on the basis of being black, but they embodied it.
But then you'll call us African. We say we're black. You said we're African. Yeah. We say we're Foundation Black Americans, and you say, no, you're African. So are we? I
understand. And you know what? We have common non-black enemies. Let's come together on the basis of our common interests. We're all black people. And, again.
No, but you tell us we're all African. Which one? They're not synonymous, by the way, and they're not equal revenue. Okay, so which one? Are we all black or are we all African? Which one? You keep giving us both.
You find that time and time and time again.
Okay.
I'll pause.
Yeah. So no. That was what you say. What you say, Benfo?
I said, and also check out the book when it comes out, The Construction of Black Civilization.
Oh my God. I was waiting for another book. Man, that's all they do is get books. Self-published books. This is Pan-Africanism. This is their economy. It's the trade books. Like this is a new bartering system. They just trade books all day. It's like Pokemon cards.
And this is what you see. This is the draft of the cover. We're going to design it really nice, but we're going to show you that
Told you, bunch of Kemet Egypt shit. These guys can't leave it alone. They go back 10,000 years to show how great they were. And these ain't even them.
you saw in classical Kemet is analogous to what you find in contemporary Kemet. This is actually an image representing Haiti. So if you can see this analogous idea, what you're actually seeing is that Dikenga theory of the rising of our self-identification and operationalization as inclusion in contemporary.
Want it to be so we're not Black Americans, right? But this is the confusing part, family. They'll say we're not Black Americans, but say we got to come together under Blackness, and then that's what we're doing in America. We're actually coming together under Blackness. We're the only people practicing that. Okay. They're not coming together at all. And as we're doing that, they'll say we need to stop because we're African and we need to get on board with Pan-Africanists and Pan-Africanism.
Times that, you know what, we have common non-Black enemies, we know what to do with it. And he's showing very clearly this is what to do against
Faso. Why you
intro.
No, I appreciate that a bit.
All right, watch the glaze, fan. Watch the glaze.
A couple of things that you mentioned that I wanted to address. You mentioned Burkina Faso while you were talking. Could you enlighten people who don't know about what's going on in Burkina Faso as it relates to Pan-Africanism?
All right, I'll definitely enlighten people with regard to what's going on in Burkina Faso. So I was there in August, and then I was there again October 26th through November 8th. And, one, and again, I guess President Ibrahim Traoré didn't get this memo. He must be doing too much, building the land of Black people to really,
Now they're Black. Now they're Black. They're called Burkinabés. They don't call themselves Black. Okay. But again, family, this is technology. This is wordplay semantics. They want to call all these tethers Black to make us feel some type of connection. Because again, if you say Burkinabés, we're gonna be disconnected. It don't resonate. So they got to keep using the language we use amongst ourselves to, resonate with each other. They're trying to use that, that glow. The glow doesn't glow when you say Burkinabe, all right, or Ethiopian, Eritrean. The glow ain't glowing. So they think anybody could just grab the Black, and all of a sudden our glow just connects with theirs. No, my guy, they're not Black. They're Burkinabés. Okay.
Be immersed in cesspool.
Hey, baby. They're Burkina kids. Hey, baby.
Full media. So he missed the notes. He missed the memo. But as some people may be aware, that Burkina Faso, Mali, and then also Niger have come together into the Alliance of Etats Saheliens.
Okay, that's what somebody was saying. Now he trying to pronounce it all in the African language. Get the fuck out of here. This is what you guys are saying in chat. So I'm gonna cook him in, y'all. Watch this.
The Alliance of Sahel States. And with that, they've combined forces against their common enemies who happen to be non-Black, but then they also have some anti-Black collaborators who they use as puppets, as they tend to do.
Oh my God. It's only the non-Blacks. I got it. Let you guys backstab, sell us, all type of shit, and just cut you guys a break. I got it.
But, they've kicked out the stench. That's what some of you call the French. And in doing so, this is actually before I got there in August. I saw a news article that said by kicking out the stench and reclaiming their own,
and then invited the other stench. Come on, man. We know Putin is there. Or are you going to speak on Putin or what?
value for gold that they had gotten over $22 billion in revenue that otherwise would have gone straight into the hands of the stench. And what you can see is they're actually using that in order to build the land of Black people, which is our mission ever since classical Kemet all the way up to now.
Oh
and
my God, the land of Black people. Yeah. No, it's the land of tethers, man. That's what they doing over there. I got nothing to do with us, man.
And so they're doing things like they're manufacturing their own phones. And this
Oh
is
my God. So you got that phone. That shit thick as hell for one. So this guy, this guy, I should Google that shit. I should Google the quality. I ain't that petty, but I should Google the quality if they are doing that for one, and the quality of it, and if it's Wi-Fi accessible. Come on, bro. Stop. Family, come on. Yo, this is the Umar stuff. Look, I got a school. It's right there. And this guy gonna show us a non-operable phone, not Wi-Fi accessible, nothing. It's like one of those Nokia phones back in the day. And this is the greatness that was going on. Like, dude, show us some gold.
I actually went to the factory, the assembly plant, and for me, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. I actually got 2 phones in Burkina Faso.
I love it.
Right?
Oh my God, you got 2 phones. Oh my God. Where's yours, Dr. Mayat? You got 2. Can she get one? You think she's trying to trade her iPhone for that? Do you think she's trying to trade her iPhone for that? This dude said he got 2 phones. What is the purpose of they just giving the phones away? Because these are these are prototypes. Hey, everybody, you want a bag, you want a bag, you want a bag, so somebody know some bones and thugs. Stop, man. Stop.
Love it.
It loves you back, right? So
Yeah,
this
I
is
love it.
what
Hearing that they're
Thick ass phone, look like a walkie-talkie. Dude, stop, man. Stop.
manufacturing, their own phones, and I'm sitting over here. Anyway, I'm not even going.
Somebody said they Blackberry. Somebody said they sidekicks. Like, dude, like these guys are 50 years late. These guys got sidekicks. Look, niggas. Sidekick time. No, we're past that.
Going bash at what's going on over here, but I love it. Go ahead, please continue.
2 phones. That's his new name. 2 phones. You did 2 phones in the house.
You up in phone?
You would also, vibe with, because I know you're dealing with, coding and getting young people in general, but sisters also into tech. They said that 80% of their workforce, and this is Horizon Industries, and this is the Hope phone. They'll have another model called Star. They have laptops and so forth. They said that 80% of their workforce is women. And they said that the women actually do a lot better in terms of, the intricate details and paying attention to where things need to go on the, boards and so forth. So I found that also to be quite intriguing. But, these are the things when you go there, you actually see, and actually I got a chance to hear President Traoré speak. He said that Burkina Faso is under construction.
Oh, you speak English? Oh, okay.
You understand? And that's what you see. Like, you see the brand new roads. You see people who are out there who are just regular citizens who are putting together the pavement blocks in order to make the sidewalks. Everywhere you look, you see, people building. And then we went there as diasporans being welcomed with permanent residents there in Burkina Faso. Me, myself, I got a chance to meet with the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there in Burkina Faso. I got a chance to,
Phone look like Cass. What do you say? Phone looking like Cass iron skillets.
that's Armand Toué. I got a chance to meet with the special advisor on diaspora mobilization. That's Honorable Gaetan Ouedraogo. And again, all of them, they were in the dark about this idea that Pan-Africanism is dead because, they just didn't know.
Oh my God. This is Pan-Africanism.
us with open arms.
Yeah, they talking about memos. I missed the memo where Ibram Traore offered some type of discount to Foundation Black Americans or the diaspora. I missed that. I missed that part where we could get a 2-year free plan. You dig? I missed that right there. I missed that part. How is that Pan-Africanism?
They rolled out.
Matter of fact, do you know Nigeria? That's all they do. In Nigeria, I just thought about it. Family, Google cell phones in Nigeria. Everybody and mother got them. They use those phones to scam. Matter of fact, we don't want to see no more phones. That means we're going to have more. The more phones we see, that means the more phone calls we're going to get. I'm traumatized to see that damn phone. All I think about is my phone ringing again. Hey, Mr. Harrison, you looking for health insurance? Like, dude, leave me alone, man. Yeah, so that's the last thing I want to see is a goddamn phone, man. Because all I'm going to think of is phone calls, more spamming phone calls, man. That was not a W, bro. That didn't hit the way you thought it was going to hit. I don't want to see a phone. That's another tether calling me, asking me about health insurance.
The red carpet for us. They, made sure that the president who is fighting, jihadists on the border, that he's actually going to take time to sit down and meet with us and discuss these things. So I'm like, all of them, they really need to get on TikTok, I guess. They really need to get on InstaSpam.
Well, that's what you guys gonna do with those phones. All you're gonna do is go on those phones and spam and look, they already linked with Russia. Russia hire all those folks to on patrol farms. So they got phones just to further the plan, the mission. Come in our spaces, pretend the FBA, cause foolery. You dig? Yeah, like I said, the last thing we want to see over in America is a tether with a phone. That's the last thing we want to see, bro. For real, for real. All right. My screen froze. I hate when that shit happens.
Time getting their consciousness shaped. And when I say consciousness shaped, some people may not, be aware, but back in 2012, there was this study that was done on Facebook. And matter of fact, I'm going to share the screen. So this is an article that
hey, family, like that's so corny. Scam this, scam Facebook, TikTok. That's corny, dude. That's corny.
Put together not too long ago. I'll just share it with you.
Absolutely not. Real alert. What is your name? Realer than air. Absolute realer than real. Realer than real. No, he has not explained how this falls in the definition of Pan-Africanism. Like, yo, so an African country trying to stir up their economy, that's Pan-Africanism? No, that's somebody trying to stimulate their economy. That's what you're supposed to do. That ain't Pan-Africanism. Like, how does Africa as a whole benefit from these cell phones? Nigeria got 1,000 cell phones there, millions for their citizens. This ain't a level up, man.
And for those who don't know, I'm not a very big fan of, cesspool media, but it's called Creepy Contagion, how fake book wired black minds like Skinner rats and why BB to me is the antidote. But basically it went into, did you know the unseen experiment on black feeds? Most black folks have never heard that in January 2012, Facebook data scientists secretly ran a week-long.
Oh my God. I'm trying to hear it. Sorry. Hey Dex, go ahead and call in, man. God damn. Because right now we just all over the place.
Contagion study.
We went from Burkina Faso with these big old sidekick phones. Now we're talking about an unseen experiment on black fleets. Oh yes, you guys, you're part of the damn troll farms, man. Yeah, and Putin is that's your guy. He's the one that hired you.
On ship weapons to look at this and Contra scan. It's not just beyond just what you say that you're about. Don't just talk about it, be about it. And again, KOD, this is a director of diaspora affairs. He's going to be our keynote. All of the qualified as being live, if you even understand the coming together of the solar system, if you understand the coming together of the gases that eventually come together with such force that they start to become a main sequence star, and they ignite, nuclear fusion to form a star, and whatever.
Wait. What the fuck this dude just say? Hey, what are you talking about, bruh? Now, family, now he's somewhere. Now, I don't know why he even talking about that. That's something that America is that's in their dreams of doing. That's so far from America to accomplish. I know he ain't talking about that. You do. Y'all building cell phones. I mean, get some jets and planes and rockets. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. This dude said nuclear fusion. Like, come on, man. See, now that's that Wakanda shit, family. Now, listen, they just made cell phones, and now he gonna talk about nuclear fusion. He's talking about clean energy, family. 'Cause right now we're working on nuclear energy. So he's talking about clean energy. Like this that fantasy Wakanda shit, man. So you're gonna go from cell phones to clean energy, and clean energy is literally forming a star. Like the sun. The sun, I believe, is clean energy. So it's like forming a mini sun. Oh my God. So they're gonna go from cell phones to goddamn building stars. All right.
Doesn't become part of that star in life. So if they say it's dead, they actually need to understand what death is. What they're betraying is they have a very crackified notion of what death is. They think about time as a line, and at the
Now look, now he been throwing shots at us the whole time, the whole lineage. Oh, they don't know this. They didn't get the memo. He's talking about not just the 43 million. He's talking about the whole diaspora, by the way. All the islands too. He talking slick.
end of the line, they think it's over, instead of understanding the analogy. About this on other platforms as well.
Bro, I'm not trusting no goddamn paper from Burkina Faso or anywhere in Africa, bro. Stop.
It caused a trophic cascade where, because there were no wolves, now the elk started to overgraze. And because they overgraze, they could stay in one place. Like, they don't have to wait. They don't have to move. They don't have to do anything. They can just graze all day because there are no wolves to keep them moving, right?
Yo, she did. Look, she sleep over there. She sleep. Yeah, this dude just going. Yo, when people do that and don't allow for no questions, this is the typical Unc rant, Umar Johnson rant, Seti rant, Sabir Bey rant. Yo, this dude don't want no questions. He just want to go.
But what ended up happening is now the beaver intentionally separating.
Here we go. Here we go. My man went from talking about old sidekick cell phones to a goddamn star.
An article on Haiti, Morocco, and the AU, right? And this is why, anyone who says like a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I just ask them very clearly, and I can tell from the outset, are they a Pan-Africanist or are they an all-Africanist? Because you have things like the All-African People's Revolutionary Party, you have the All-African People's Conference and so forth, where they actually invited these non-Black Arabs to that conference. You understand? So when you say, what they said, they tried to change it to all-Africanism, but it didn't have the ring to it, right? So, but they were trying to do that to show that they are intentionally separating from the ideas of Pan-Africanism from 1900 that was about Black people regardless of location. Because in that,
so now everybody's Black. Nobody's African anymore, family. This is hilarious how they tell us. So they tell us we're African, but when he's speaking to all people, everybody's just Black. That's the bait and switch.
Actually find they talk about Haiti, they mention Abyssinia, Liberia, and any other states that emerged. They talk about the Black people of Congo. They use the term Negro, Black, and African interchangeably. So they're not talking about those in the diaspora. Destruction.
Nobody does that. Stop lying.
Rape and ravishing, pillage and plunder. So again, that's the whole book is talking about all of us coming together on the basis of being Black thousands of years ago.
Oh, stop, man. We're not Black. We're not all Black, bro. Stop it. Yeah. Why you just can't say we're all African? That's what you really want to say. Because, family, they'll say we're all Black, and then once you lock arms with them, now they whispering you're African.
Against a common non-Black enemy. You understand? You can read the autobiography of Imahu Weni that's talking about the same thing. It talks about all of the
Definitely not reading no autobiographies from him and nothing else that I got in book form.
people of Kemet, both sides of the house, all the way from
So he's back 10,000 years ago, family. Oh, God.
Medinit in the north to Abu in the south, all the people inside of Kemet as a state, but then also all the Nahasiu, who are referred to as Nubians, all Black people coming together to drive away.
All of a sudden, we're all Black. We're no longer African anymore. We are now all Black. Come on, man. Like that's so cringy. I'm like cringing when he says that. Dude, you really want to say we're all African. You call us African every chance you get, but now African has elevated over. I mean, now Black has elevated over African. Bro, we're not falling for that, bro.
These non-Black Amu from the land of Black people. So again, this is the point that is lost. So that one is Pan-Africanism because it's all Black people coming together against our common non-Black enemies. But all Africanism is whosoever happens to be on the continent, let's all hop into bed together, literally or metaphorically.
So the AU is all Africanism, not Pan-Africanism. And that you mentioned
They made it up. The AU is not nothing like that. They made that up. I want them to get to this right here.
Earlier that they have a seat for the diaspora. Could you break down with that action?
Oh, they got a seat for us. They got a seat for us. Oh, yeah, the diaspora, they can sit down. We will let them sit at the table now, finally. Not happening.
Beans.
Very good. So when you look at all Africanism, there is the idea of the sixth region. And again, the article that I wrote on IT, Morocco, and the AU.
I'm good. So all they did was magnify small efforts. Okay, I told you. He repeated endorsement letters, summits, festivals, invitations. All inputs and signals are presented as proof. Stop it. He's missing binding policy, resource programs, measurable outcomes. They're romanticizing Africa, under construction. Burkina Faso's under construction. Red carpet, star-studded, and philosophical cycles are used to paint momentum while skirting hard governance metrics. Good things can be true and still not equal Pan-African institutional integration. Gotta stop, bro. Now they want to redefine Pan-Africanism. Okay, so all African continentalism. Stop it. Okay. This lets them claim wins. All right. So by claiming everybody, then they claim wins from broad continental activity while dismissing Black American self-governance. All right. And they come on. I mean, it just here we go. So family, you guys ask, is Black Americans working with only Black Americans in the US, or are we out there in Africa, or in Africa working only Africa? Are they over here? Okay, he never answered that. He said the AU sixth region. Okay, discussion actually concedes the opposite, that diaspora is symbolic. No vote. That undercuts their "we include you" claim. There's no vote. Okay, so they've shown endorsements and conferences, right? But can they list 5 laws or sign MOUs with budgets passed since 2019 that materially changed diaspora rights, residency, property tax, and how many people benefited under each? Can't do it. He says sixth region power. What voting power does the AU sixth region hold? That's we want to know. You're trying to give us a seat. What voting power do we hold? If none, how is the diaspora structurally included? We don't have no voting power. Okay. How many Black Americans receive permanent residency or citizenship via the programs you cited? What's the median processing time and denial rate? You need to know that. Okay, he talked about the $1.9 billion. How much is recurring FDI or versus tourism spend? How many full-time jobs exist 20 months later, my guy? Then he talks about all Africanism versus PA, Pan-Africanism. Are Morocco and similar states you model of Pan-Africanism? If yes, how do you square with anti-black abuses you yourself described? He talked about it. Okay. Got a tether cone. Yes, I can help you, sir. What's going on? All right, I'll put the phone number in there. All right. All right. Hey, Andy, as you can see, it's a nothing burger. Wishful thinking, bunch of garbage. Let's see. Let me call in, and then we are out. This was a short one, just a quick expose on this lie that she tried to promote about Pan-Africanism being practiced in Ghana and all across Africa. A complete nothing burger. We don't believe you. You need more people. In a second. Yeah, ain't none of us falling for that. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Look, work that out. Work that out. Work that out. I mean, work that out. That's all I can say is work that out. Work that out because work that out and stay out of our way. We're not in your way. You do what y'all think is best for you guys, and we're doing what we know is best for us. So go have fun, be great. Don't extend your hand over here. We're not extending our hand where you're at. Stay over there. You pick the side, stay over there. Yes, 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 yes. Hold on. Hold on. All right, go ahead, brother.
What's going on? Peace and love, everybody. Thanks for letting me call in unbiased. I've tried to stay neutral in this argument, but I've done a presentation on the FBA and Pan-Africanism.
No such thing as being neutral, but go ahead. I mean, when people say that like that, when people say that, that's like a forked tongue. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm not, I lean more toward our reparations, though. Like I said, I've said that many times. But what I called for was that when I heard Unc earlier, when Unc was saying, like, we would have to defend ourselves in law or whatever. Is that what you was kind of saying?
Okay.
That's what it sounded like to me. So let me tell you what that is. That's the SCOTUS, right? The SCOTUS ruling. It would be the New York Times versus Sullivan. And the SCOTUS rule has been protecting us for like 60, 70 years now. But if they overrule that SCOTUS rule, we will become like what it is in Europe, the court system they have in Europe, where it's on the defendant. The burden of proof is on the defendant, not on the state or the accuser. It's on the person who's being accused to prove that he didn't do anything wrong. So we definitely don't want that. See, remember we talked about that years ago.
Yeah, but I don't know how true it is to be in practice, but like that was some talk some time ago.
Right, and it was. We can look up SCOTUS. We can look up New York Times, NYT versus Sullivan. That's that court case right there, y'all. So we definitely don't want that, and we don't need to overturn the SCOTUS. So that's what it kind of sounded like to me. Now, the second point that I wanted to make, because I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but the cell phone thing that they have. The reason why Africans have cell phones and are praising cell phones today is because that's how they do their banking. See, and that's they do banking through their phones every day on a daily basis.
Who's that?
Some of the African countries, because they don't really have banks like that. Their banking is through their phones, so to keep them debt slaves. So they're going to push that phone thing over there.
Yeah, but also you don't get those health insurance calls.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see what you said.
Yeah, that's what those phones are really for. But go ahead.
The scamming calls, yeah. I get targeted on myself, you know. But yeah. And it seems like they picked up here recently in this last couple of months to me. But those cell phones is what they use to do their banking, family. So they're gonna keep them cell phones around because them central banks is the ones to keep them Africans debt slaves, so and be able to track you too at the same time. So if you don't pay your bill, they ping your phone and come get you or whatever. But then the last point,
they can't make them debt slaves. They don't have work or whatever, bro. Like, yeah, they don't have working. But go ahead.
Well, it's just through the banking system. That's their banks. Their phones are their banks, brother. That's what I'm saying. But then the last one is with the AU, and me and Unbiased talked about this before. Remember, Unbiased, tell them the story first. I want you to tell them the story about the Caribbean, right? And how they tried to form a union, and the Jamaican got bold and was like, "Oh, we don't need them. We could do this by ourselves. We cool. We don't need y'all little underlings," because Jamaica's the bigger island, right? And they're arrogant. So they was like, "Oh, we don't need y'all. We can do this by ourselves," right? And then they tried to join the African Union, and the African Union denied them. So then all of a sudden, I guess they ran back to the Caribbean people, and then now they got a Caribbean Union. But at first, when they tried to do it, Jamaica, fell back and said, "No, we don't want to deal with these little petty other islands. We're better than them. We can go and join the African Union," and got denied. Tell them about that, Unbiased.
Well, a little bit. He just said it. Yeah, he just said it. Well, first of all, they were encouraged by, this was not their own idea. It was the British who said, "Hey, why don't y'all stop sucking out titties and go out there and do something for yourself?" So he encouraged them, Britain encouraged them to get together and form their own nation. Okay, and then they got their own currency, their own, they rely on each other. They're like, I guess. So they went and tried to go do it. And it lasted like 3-4 years. Like they just could not get along with each other. They just didn't trust each other. They make it a bigger country, and they didn't want a smaller country to benefit. They want them to have no right, no say so, no voting power. Other shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if it's so hard for them as islanders to join together, then what chance do we have joining with them? They're going to try to rule over us and tell us how to do like Garvey did. He wanted to be the king of Africa. Wanted us to go back to Liberia, and he wanted to be the king of everything in Africa. He wanted to make himself the king. And the only thing that he was following was the American Colonization Society's narrative, which was 100 years before him, about sending us back to Africa because they said that we wouldn't fit into, American society, and they were getting ready to expand out west, and they didn't want to take our black asses out west. So what they did was they started with the American Colonization Society. I mean, it fell through because, they didn't have the money and all that stuff, but, that's what we're dealing with the repatriation, with the immigrants. All of this goes right back to that, the American Colonization Society. Right after we left slavery, right, and the American Colonization Society, they started with the repatriation. That's what they started with. And then here comes Garvey 100 years later with that same narrative. And the last thing that I wanted to say, Unbiased, I appreciate you letting me talk, brother.
Don't try to run. Don't try to run because Dex just called in, and Dex going to ask you some questions. Okay.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Dex is a young. Dex is a young dude. I think he's on a short bus, something like that. But just hold. Don't hop off. Hold for Dex.
Okay. Okay, I will. But yeah, I said, remember, Unbiased, I told you we got to watch those re's. That was a talking point of mine. Anytime we hear repatriation, reconstruction, reset, reimmigration, it always affects us, tremendously. And then, when we're dealing with this stuff, so we have to be careful when we hear those re's, when they're using the term re in front of a word. Like I said, and I just gave you 3 examples: repatriation, reconstitution, repatriation, reconstruction era. They always talk about the reset today, and then now a new one's coming in, re-immigration. All right, and this and they wanted with the repatriation, they wanted to send us away and then bring in as space fillers, for our leaving. To fill the spaces, they wanted to bring in the Nordic, northern white immigrants. Like Trump said, you heard Trump say, well, why don't we have the good immigrants come over? Why do we always got the bad ones? And the bad ones, I guess, are the brown and black ones. And he wants the ones from up north in Europe, Switzerland and Sweden and those type of people to be the immigrants to come over. So this is the same thing that we're dealing with then. History repeating itself. We're dealing with it right now, brother. So that's all I wanted to say real quick.
The one read I'm going to set is one you to spell reparations. But Dex, what was your question for IBM?
Yeah, that one too. Repair. That's repair. Go ahead.
Yo.
Go ahead, Dex.
Peace. So
what's up, brother?
Well, my question is, and I don't want you guys to get offended by my questions, because I just have a simple question. No, I'm being sincere about it though. I don't want anybody to get offended because you like to block me off of the live. But my question to you, IB, is what is it? What are you guys? What is you guys' plan? Do you guys have a plan, or the plan is just to talk amongst each other? Is basically like a roast session. You know what I mean? It's like Pan-Africans are these people. Pan-Africans are these, and then you got the Pan-Africanists studying on the FBAs. Like FBA people are this, FBA people are that. What is the plan for the FBA, quote unquote? Do you guys have a plan? Are you guys organized enough to just put action behind the plan, or is it just an internet thing?
Well, brother, what my intentions are is first to educate, because when you're in war, right, it's best to know the snares and the weapons that were used against you in wars and in previous wars, and then that way you're familiar with the weaponry that they have, and you're also, know how to look for the snares that they set out there for you. So you got to know your history in order to know in order to move on into the future. Because if you forget your history, then you're bound to repeat it, brother. So, like I said, it's all you got to know what's going on. You got to understand how they're using these weapons against you first, in order to build that society where you're literate to those weapons, to the racism, to scientific racism, to the systemic racism, to the weapons that are used against you on a daily basis to keep us in as debt slaves here in America, or the prison system, which is, we're 25% of the world's population in prison on this planet. 25% in America. We are 25% of the world's people in prisons, but we're only 5% of the world's population. So how does that work? It's big business in America. So like I said, you have to know the snares and the weapons that are used previously.
You gotta respond.
Okay, yeah, today, brother. That's all. Go ahead.
No. I was actually listening to what he was saying. It's no rush on my end. And I ain't rushing to respond. I'm actually just listening to what he really had to say, because he made a couple good points. And I agree with what he's saying as far as education first, because that's detrimental to how they get people, you know what I mean, in a bind. So I like that answer. But besides things like psychological, what action exactly are you guys looking to get across? That's my initial question. What are you guys doing actively right now as an organization to better Black people in America? Because I would be considered a FBA according to the definition. even though I don't claim to be.
Nah, you won't be not to my definition. But what there's like a gazillion organizations in America that's Black ran. Like, which one are you speaking of? You said organization. Which one?
No, my question was to IB. I don't know.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, IB.
All right, well, just answer me the question one more time, brother. I'm sorry.
So I said I loved the answer you gave as far as education, right?
Thank you.
But,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what action besides psychological damage are you guys putting in? Actively putting in as an organization?
Well, I don't know what organization you're talking about, but I'm trying to teach, what little bit of knowledge I have. And
let me rephrase the organization. Let me say as an organized group of people.
Well, we are. I can see where this is leading us, and I love the movement, because we are now trying to identify ourselves. We are moving away from the social constructs that was given. Black, the N-word, Negro, colored. If I left any out, you add them to the list. But we have been, given titles. These are social constructs, names given to one group, and then to another group, right? And then that group that the title was given to, they take and adopt that name on themselves, like Black, N-word, African American. My saying is, if Africa and America are names of colonizers, why would you call yourself either one? You're just calling yourself a social construct, a name given to the land. And most of these constructs are negative connotations. They're negative toward our people, and they don't hold up in court. So we're trying to identify. I can see this now in this day and age that we're trying to re-identify ourselves, and we're trying to do it as a group, which we need to. We can call ourselves whatever we want. We can use the N-word. We can use Black. But we, as a collective, as a group, have to choose that name upon ourselves. We're tired of taking names given to us by anybody, especially by the oppressor, who had those names are always negative connotations. So I can see that we're waking up and, trying to make strides to reclaim our identity, rename ourselves things that we want to call ourselves as a collective, like I said, instead of allowing people to tell us who we are, how to live, and where we come from. Like my brothers in Africa or the Caribbean. I love y'all, but when you come over here talking to us, talking down on us, and you don't say a word about what you got going on in your homeland, all the problems that you got going on in your homeland, that never gets mentioned. You always got all kinds of answers for us on how we need to live, who we are, and where we come from. And I always say, clean up your house before you come over here and try to tell us how to clean up ours. But like I said, we're trying to come up with our own identity. We're striving to create our own identity, and that's what I like about what's going on today and what I see today with the youth and with the older ones too. We're all coming around, and we're tired of being told who we are, how to live, and where we come from. And that's my answer, brother. My son keeps calling. He's called like 5 times. He usually don't do that, so I want to call him right back. But if you still on, once I talk to him, I might call right back. All right, brother.
All right, no problem. I just had a few questions, but it's okay.
And thank you, Dex. Thank you, Dex, for the question, brother. And I love all of y'all. Y'all keep y'all's head high and your grass low, and stop lying to my people. And I love y'all. Peace.
All right, Dex, did you get your good answer or no?
No, he gave some good answers to my question. But I actually have to rebut a couple of them, but we don't got to do that right now, you know,
No,
because
go
I
ahead.
don't
He's
agree
listening.
with everything
No,
he said.
he's still listening. So go ahead, and we call back in. He'll address him. No, go ahead. And then when he called back in, he will address your rebuttals.
So when he said that that Africans look at us in a negative light when they come over here, it's a partial truth, because it is a truth, but it's a partial truth, because you gotta realize they colonized over there as well. You know what I mean? So it's they have a different perspective on the American.
What does that
All
mean?
this.
Wait, no,
Hold on.
wait,
Let me
hold on.
respond. Let me
No, no, no,
respond.
no, 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 no. I gotta stop you. No, no, wait, it's a dialogue. It's not a like everything ain't
I
5 minutes.
wasn't done though.
And, you are done because
No,
once
I'm
I
not.
hear something, once I hear something that I think needs
I get
more
that. I get that.
clarity.
But could you just
Right? No,
wait to respond?
no. Dude, you called it my show. I tell you how it's done. You don't tell me how it's done. So I'm gonna stop you right there. Now, what does colonization got to do with hating us? Shouldn't they hate the colonizers?
It goes both ways. It goes both
Wait,
ways.
what?
Just like
Wait,
here in
hold on.
America.
Wait, no. Stop. No, we ain't doing that. We staying on one thing. I'm being colonized by these people. Black Americans ain't got nothing to do with that. Why does Black Americans get the extension of hate and the colonizers don't? Start right there. Hold on.
I think they do. I could show you instances
How?
where they do.
No. Okay, how about this? The second part. Why are we included in that hate? You said there's a two-part answer, I guess. You said the colonizers and then us. What does hating us got to do with them being colonized by white people?
Okay, so can I give you an example?
No, just speak on that. You mentioned they
I
got
know I
colonized.
am. I'm going to tell you, but
Okay.
I'm asking
Yeah.
you to allow. I'm asking you to
Yeah,
allow
but
me
I
to.
wanted to. I want to stay on them and the colonizers and how that extension of hate came to us. Go ahead.
Can I give you an analogy?
No, I don't want an analogy. Just explain that straight up. Straight up.
Okay, so if a person is colonized, right, that means they're trained to hate one another. So if they are trained to hate one another and then they come over here in America, they would hate anybody. They don't just hate a Black American, they hate Americans, period.
Wait, hold on. That don't make any sense. Okay, so if they're trained to hate and they come over here, who is the problem? Us or them?
Both of us.
Wait, hold on. Let's run that back, Turbo. You just said they were trained to hate and they come over here and practice what they're training basically.
Yeah.
Like army, okay, military persons, they train and then when war calls, they go practice it. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they're trained to hate us and they come over here and get unleashed like pit bulls and they attack us, you're saying it's our fault too?
Yeah, because we do the same thing to them.
I'm good.
We do the same thing to them.
Sure. Have a great day, my guy. You see? So he was begging all along to call in and say that stupid shit. He just said that they were colonized. We were not colonized. We don't do it to them. Our civil rights movement, Dr. King was extending our push to all of Africa. Like y'all got to make your mind up. You say that he shouted out Africa. So then how can we feel the same way? We extended our civil rights march movement and sentiment to Africa, into the diaspora. Dr. King welcomed everybody over here to take advantage of what's being directly given to us. Okay, so how's that possible, bro? Like we're the people who have songs called "Heal the World." You think like where's your songs like that, Tether? Like so again, like that's just projection. They can't hold the L. So I had to get him out of here. Yeah, I should have gave him one more question. But I had to get him out of here, man. I can't do that. But family, that's all they gonna do. That's all they're gonna do. All they're gonna do is never hold the L. They're gonna always. Let me give you an analogy. I already knew that. Analogy is gonna be American based. See, if a black man, right, he robbed somebody's grandma, that's all it's gonna be. The analogy gonna be about disrespecting us. I already seen it coming. Now I just answered the question directly. He answered it. He admitted the truth. There, which is not a truth. It's an excuse. So he gave them an excuse. They're brainwashed. That's not what colonization does. I don't think he knows what it means to be colonized. They're just extracting resources at the hands of the natives, and then they're out. They're not brainwashing them to hate people. Not just get in that mud and get that gold and get those diamonds, get that oil for 60 years, and then go do you boo. So these guys say colonization, they say colonizer, they use the word colonize. I don't believe they know what actually goes into that. They're not stripped of their listen. When you become a self-hating buffoon, you are stripped of things that you got to reclaim and get back. These guys were left intact. When white man left them, they had their culture and spirituality and all that shit, customs. What are you talking about? Just made that up. Okay. So they want us to be wrong and put blame on us, and it doesn't work. History does not side with these clowns. So again, he begged all night to call in to do that. Place hatred. It's on both of you. Okay. Well, I had one more. I kicked him off because he's disgusting, family. When they're disgusting, I got to throw him off. Can't hear one more disgusting word. But I had one more question for that fool, and would have really sealed the deal. Anyway, that'll be next time, family. We're out. We're gonna do Frank Zanu Friday because I want to have time where I could be live 2, 3 a.m. if need be to cover that guy and his sitting down with the Daily Rapper crew. So that being said, I'm out of here. Have a great night. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you like. You know, right out. We're out. We're out. Tomorrow we'll be back. I gotta get some sleep tonight. So we'll be back, Rael. Tomorrow call in. I'll let Dex call in. That's why I was gonna let IBM just talk to him. I'm gonna stay out of it. But IBM checked out. I guess he felt like Dex was gonna cook him, so he bounced. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.